Hey everyone, welcome to another Sunday Musing. I am supposed to be on an aeroplane right now on my way to India, but we've actually changed schedules. So this is a normal Sunday Musing. And then next week, I think I'll pre-record one because I'll be on a plane. And then I don't know what's going to happen after that. Anyway, something that's been going around in my head for the last couple of weeks revolves around accountability. And specifically, whose responsibility it is to combat climate change. Whose responsibility is it to put things in place to make sure that our children, our grandchildren can continue to live on this planet? We live in a culture where accountability is maybe not as good as it could be. And people are really all too eager to pass the blame to other people. You say, this is not my problem, this is somebody else's problem. And we see it here in the West. People say, well, climate change, yes, well, it's terrible. And yes, America's got terrible emissions. And yes, Europe's got terrible emissions. But look at China and India. Look how terrible they are. And it's used as an excuse for other countries and other people not to do their bit. It's a bit like if you're speeding along the motorway and you're the only person speeding along the motorway, and the policeman stops you and says, do you realise how fast you were going? And either you say yes or no. You get a speeding ticket because you're driving fast. But then imagine if you're in a similar situation and your excuse to the police officer is, well, everybody else is speeding. You just caught me. And everybody else was speeding, so you sped. I can't help but think when it comes to climate change and the effect that we're having on the planet, that we need to not be that person. We need to be the person who goes, okay, this is a problem that I have to tackle. I even see it in my generation. I'm tail end of Gen X, okay? So I see Gen Xers blame their parents' generation, the baby boomers. And I see millennials blame the baby boomers and Gen X. And I think it's a bit late for us all to be playing the blame game. And I wonder if there's a way for us all to become more accountable in solving the problems that lay ahead of us. The World Meteorological Organization, the WMO, just released a report this week that said 2018 was the fourth hottest year on record. There have been 4 record-breaking hot years around the globe since 2015. And that's not normal, that's not normal behavior. And we've got to try and figure out how we want to become accountable for that. I've been thinking about this because, we've seen a Green New Deal rejected this week in the United States, which wasn't really a surprise. But there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of discussion going on about replacing it with something else. And it doesn't matter if you thought the Green New Deal was a bad idea or a good idea. What you should be concerned about is protecting what we have in the future. And my argument to those who often say, well, they believe that climate change is phooey, is to say, okay, if you believe that climate change is not true, if you don't believe the general scientific consensus that it is man-made and it's caused by us and it's getting worse, if you don't believe that, what harm will it do you if you still get involved in the worst case scenario mitigation? If you know something bad might happen, even if you don't think it will, doesn't it make sense to prepare or to try and stop it from happening? Then it would be just to ignore it and call it, rubbish. Because if you become accountable and you jump in with both feet and you work together as a society to solve these problems, if people who say climate change is a very real threat to our future, and I am somebody who believes that, and I have seen the science that backs that up, then I wholeheartedly want to do my best to try and make sure that our kids and our grandkids and future generations still have a planet to live on. But if you're somebody who doesn't believe that, what have you got to lose by coming along with everybody else? So, and I know this is a bit of a somber post today. I suppose I'm just feeling a little somber, but I want to know what you think, how you think we solve this, how you think we need to go about making a difference, making these small steps and not passing the blame, not passing the buck, getting off our bloody bums and sorting it out. Whether it is working with governments, whether it's working with charities, whether it's educating our kids on how not to be wasteful. I want to know how you personally think that you can get involved in making sure that we don't pass the blame, that we work together to try and come to a solution where it is better for everyone. I recently gave a talk in San Diego talking about how I got to where I am today. I got to where I am today because the marshes near the home that I grew up in, my first home, the marshland there flooded. It was freshwater marshland. It was flooded with salt water because of unseasonably terrifying storms that breached the walls and of the marshes and destroyed all of the grass. The cattle that my dad was paid to look after grazed. And the farmer then had to turn around and say to us, "I'm sorry, I can't afford to keep these animals because I've got no way of being able to afford to feed them. If they can't have the grass, then game's over." And from that point on, it kind of got me thinking about environmental issues and green issues. And I don't talk about it a whole lot because I know that talking about environmental issues can turn people off. But I think I've got to a point now where we have to just say what we feel about this and be willing to work together and to put differences aside and to just work the problem. Because if we don't, we're boned in my lifetime. Not even my kids' lifetime. I've got a 15 and a 16-year-old. I don't even want to think about what their world's going to be like. All right, sorry this is rambly. I hope that you have a very good weekend wherever you are in the world. I'll be back tomorrow with normal content. Although it is April 1st, so maybe you could leave in the comments section if you've seen any fun April Fool's jokes involving green transport, cleaner, greener, safer and smarter. I'd love to hear them. Maybe I'll make a video about those next week. Like, comment and subscribe. Support us using the links below. Ko-fi, Patreon, buy something from our swag shop. We are growing and we're growing as fast as we can, but we need to grow faster so that we can keep up with all the news and cover it and try and be the best we possibly can. So please do consider supporting us. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode, and I'll be back tomorrow. Keep evolving, please.